Howdy everybody, I'm Dave with Nelson Craig Farms, welcoming you back to a rainy and cool Wednesday the 25th of October 2023. Well, I was sitting at my favorite restaurant today having a little bit of breakfast over here at T&T Cafe. I came up with a little something that I thought I'd share with you folks right after this. And what I got to thinking was a little something about waitresses. Did you ever notice how a waitress is like an ex-spouse? Yeah, they wait till you finish up, take all your money, then kick you out for the next guy. So what are we up to today, Farmer Dave? Well, I'll tell you. I've had my breakfast and I'm heading back out to the farm because Doug from over at Bosinger Tractor and Repair is going to be out to install the new door today in the LS tractor. So what I'm going to do is fire up the shop stove, sit down there in the shop, and pick the glass out of the rubber channel or whatever it is that goes around the outside of the glass, because I don't think the new glass came with it. And yeah, I'll leave the door lock assembly put together, just because I don't want to lose any parts out of it, so I'll just leave it alone. Let Doug deal with that, but yeah, I can at least do some of the prep work. Oh no, there he goes into that door again. Yeah, I'm after my charger. Yeah. My friend Elvis over at Old Red Tractors made a comment. Said, Dave, you're just like Pete over at Just a Few Acres Farms, going through a door all the time. Hadn't even thought about it, but he's right. Nothing's much of a bigger pain in my tuchus than these silly fluorescent lights that don't light up, flicker, and make buzzing noises when they get cold. So one of the projects we're going to do today is to change them out for something like what I got up here. Yeah, they're on a cord. They plug in up there. Yeah, basically like a brooder light. But I have two other projects that I got to get done first. One is getting the stove lit, and another one is creating a deal to blow out all the sprinkler lines around the farm. So we'll get right to it. Hey, here's a Halloween joke for you. Why do ghosts go to bars? It's for the booze. Get it? Booze. Yeah. Now regarding my lights, the fluorescent and the little brooder lights with the light bulbs in it, I had a bit of an epiphany on what to do about those. In an effort to work smarter and not harder, it's finally occurred to me, why change out light fixtures that will illuminate my shop fairly well? So what I'm going to do is, as the fluorescents burn out, I'm going to go to the local home store and I'm going to buy some 4-foot long T12 sized LED bulbs that are direct replacements for the fluorescent lights that have the starters in them. So I'm going to put in LEDs in here anyway, regardless whether it was a screw-in bulb in one of those brooder light things or do it with these. So I think I'll just go ahead and do that because, quite honestly, I'm not entirely too sure that my ratings would go up and my subscription rates would go up if y'all caught me on a ladder being all wobbly and falling off. Yeah, so we're just going to change out some bulbs for fluorescent compatible LEDs. I'll of course let you know how that works out as soon as I get some of those bulbs purchased and installed. One of the things I keep telling people not to ever do is to do what I'm going to do, and that is using your little quick coupler air compressor fittings to blow out your sprinkler lines. Well, I'm going to make a contraption out of what I got started here, which I didn't start. That was actually Stepdad Bob who got that started. And I'm going to add, what size is that? That's 15/16. I'm going to add a ball valve to that. Alrighty, I found a metric and SAE adjustable combination wrench here, so we're going to unscrew these two parts here, if they will let me. And we'll put a ball valve in there, and a little short pipe nipple, clean up the compressor nipple. It's called the industrial style that I happen to use here at the farm. And yeah, we'll go blow out some sprinklers as soon as it quits raining. Now, I'm not going to worry about putting any Teflon tape or thread goop or anything in there. If it leaks a little bit of air, it leaks a little bit of air. That's just the way it is. But one thing I do want to be careful about and concerned about is which way the handle is in relation to the rest of it when it's open. See there, that means the handle's going to be bumping into something, so I need to go this way with the handle. And we'll screw this together and screw this. See, this is what I was talking about, the handle being in the way. And we'll screw that together. There, just the drop. That's how you keep it from cross threading. Yeah, looking kind of like that. I've got it all put together now, pretty much the way I wanted it. I would have liked to have maybe had this out a little further, but that's all right. That'll work just fine for what it is. So that's off, and I'm just going to crack it open a little bit. Should have probably turned it around so the valve handle would have been on that side. Not that it makes any difference. Anyway, I'll put a rubber washer in there and take a wire wheel to this end and clean that up. Now, the reason why I say I never recommend these to people is that little itty bitty hole right there in the end of that. You can't get enough air through that volume-wise to completely blow out all of the water in the system. You can get air through it. You can get out a little bit of the water, but you can't get it all out. But I'll be danged if I'm going to pay that guy down the road $80 or more this year to spend all of 5 minutes here, and that includes backing in, hooking up, blowing out, unhooking, and leaving. Yeah, $80 for 5 minutes. I'll do this instead and take my chances. Get the stuff out of there and pop in the rubber washer, like so. Yeah, we're good to go. I have to hook on my air hose down here to this little homemade hydrant to blow everything out, because the air compressor in the shop is attached to the wall via a air line in the building. So what I've got finished up is my little air hose connection here at the ball valve, a little bit of a nipple, and a garden hose thread adapter. I'll hook together to that 1/2-inch nipple, and we'll screw that on here. About like so. We'll shut this off. I'll hook the air hose up to that, fire up the compressor. Then once it's pressurized its full amount, I'll crack open this valve here. Well, I'll go ahead and leave it. And I'll set some valves over at the pump house. Open this up, and air will blow down through here back to the irrigation pump, over to pump house, and blow out all the lines that have water in them. Yeah. It stopped raining for right now, but it's still cloudy and overcast. But I didn't film it because I wanted to get it done so I could get in out of this cold, wet air. But yeah, that worked actually fairly well, because I had forgotten about increasing the pressure, increases the amount of volume of air that moves through the pipeline. So yeah, even with that little 30-gallon air compressor and 150 some feet of hose, I think it worked out fairly well. But time will tell, and we'll see what happens next spring when we put water back into the system. I've decided to work on replacing an end on an extension cord that had been cut. So as my luck goes, I already had one of these, but I went to town today and bought a new one. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to put a new end on this cord, have a usable cord again. It's part of being thrifty and yeah, prepping. I'm being prepared by fixing it now before I need it. So, and homesteading, that's part of it. Taking care of what you got and making it work for you. Yeah, so maybe we are going to call this little bit homesteading and prepping tips and tricks this week. So anyway, we got a real nice heavy duty plastic, so it's insulated socket, receptacle socket, the female end of the cord. And it's got little screws here. The brass one is for the black wire. That one right there, that's brass. It's for the black wire. You roll it around, you get the chrome one. That's for the white wire. And then the green one, the little green one, that's for the ground wire. So you keep your polarities straight. And the polarity is, if you ever notice on your plugs and your outlets, one blade is wider than the other. Yeah, it's to keep the power all going the same direction at the same time. Why that matters, I don't know, but it does. One thing you have to remember is to get enough length of the insulation stripped off the copper wire to wrap around the base of the screw if you have a screw terminal like this one, which in this case happens to be the ground. Some of these you've got to be also careful on. This particular one has a clamp here on the end, keep the wire from moving back and forth. Some of them don't have that, and if that's the case, then you have to tie a knot in these 3 wires to keep it from pulling back out. So, and you never ever pull the plug by pulling on the cord. You always grasp a hold of the plug and pull and push on that. So there's your safety tip for the week. And there's the completed end. Yeah, that's a nice, good, solid 20 amp rated end on that. The cord's 12 gauge, so you can get 20 amps through it. So
somebody sent you a message on your telephone.
It's either my aunt or Elvis. Anyway, yeah, so the cord's done. Now we get on to other projects. One of the things I'm doing to help out the guy from the tractor repair shop that's coming to put in the window, which is probably Doug, the owner of Bo Singer Tractor, is get all this glass from the rubber gasket on the door of the LS. I don't know if you can see all that. Anyway, I'm making pretty fair progress at it. Just talking to Alvis over at Old Red Tractors, who's done a little bit of body work on some old vehicles. See if there's an easier way of getting this out of here other than a flat blade screwdriver kind of just pecking away at it. Apparently there's some sort of a tool, but I'm not going to run to town and get the tool, just for hopefully a one-time deal. But yeah, I've got on heavy leather gloves. My glasses are not a safety glass. I should have on safety glasses doing this, but so far the chunks are what's dropping out. It's not breaking anymore. Now what I'm doing is I'm blowing the what little bit of glass powder and stuff there is out of this channel with some compressed air. Kind of cleaning up the rubber a bit. So when Doug gets back out here, he can install this on that window. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today's little episode here at Nelson Creek Farm. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned a little something. And as always, if you would, please, right down there, that big red thing, hit the subscribe button if you would. I'd appreciate it. And if you hear something running, that, my friends, is a new toy here to Nelson Creek Farm, and to be the topic of our next video. So make sure you stay tuned to find out what that noise is. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And thank you to the new subscribers we've picked up in the last couple of weeks. Hope you enjoyed it. As always, I'm Farmer Dave, wishing you well. Bye-bye for now.